Hi friends, my name is Maruti and I'm the co-founder of Cracku. In this video, we are giving the video solutions for LRDI section of slot 2 of CAT 2025. Please pause the video at the start and try to solve the LRDI set on your own. If you're not able to solve it, you can look at the video solution. If you have doubts in any one of the LRDI sets, please feel free to comment below this video. I look at all the comments and I'll try to respond to them to the best of my ability. In addition to this video, definitely do check out the LRDI playlist where we give you a list of very important LRDI videos that we have made, which will help you quite a lot. The link for the playlist is given in the description of this video. Definitely do check it out. In this question, we are told that there are 4 people, Ananya, Bhaskar, Charu and Devendra. Let us call them A, B, C, D. There are 4 musicians, each of them trained under 3 gurus. The names of the gurus are Pandit Meghnath, Ustad Samiran and Acharya Raghunath. Let us call them M, S and R. They trained between 2013 to 2024. So that is between 12 years. Now, each guru trains a student for consecutive years only for a span of 2, 3 or 4 years. So one of them trains for 2 years, one of them trains for 3 years, one of them trains for 4 years. 2 plus 3 plus 4 is 9 years. So every student prepares for 9 years out of the 12. This would imply that there are, say, 3 gap years for every student. Out of the 9 years, there are 3 gap years. During these years, a student might not have trained under these gurus, so that is fine. That is what we are discussing. The number of years they would not have trained will be 3 because the total years is 12. 2 plus 3 plus 4 is 9. So that difference of 3 years, every student would not train under any guru. However, they never trained under multiple gurus in the same year. So for every student, each year there will be only one guru. So let us first draw a table. The table will look something like this. This is the student A. This is student B. This is student C. And this is student D. We need to figure out in each year which teacher were they preparing under. This is for 2013. This is for 2014. 18. And 19. So for each of these 12 years, we need to figure out which teacher did these guys train under. Now, in none of these years, any of these gurus trained more than 2 of these students at the same time. So basically, every teacher at any particular time would have taught a maximum of 2 students. When 2 students train under the same guru at the same time, they are referred to as Guru Bhai, irrespective of their gender. Okay. So there are 6 possibilities for Guru Bhais. They are A and B can be Guru Bhais. A and C can be Guru Bhais. A and D can be Guru Bhais. B and C can be Guru Bhais. B and D can be Guru Bhais. And C and D can be Guru Bhais at some point of time. Basically, there are 4 students. If you are picking 2 out of them, 4C2 is 6 ways. These are the different possibilities for Guru Bhais. Ustad Samiran never trained more than one of these students in the same year. So if you are looking at Ustad Samiran, there are 12 years. In these 12 years, he taught 4 students, and at no point did he teach more than one student at the same time. This would imply that either this guy, Samiran, he taught for either 2 years or for 3 years. Why is that the case? Because if he taught no 2 students at the same time, and say he was teaching each of them for 4 years, the minimum time it would take him is 4 into 4, which is 16 years. But we have only 12 years possible. So either he taught each student for 2 years, then it is 4 into 2, 8 years, and Ustad Samiran was free for 4 years, or 4 into 3 is 12 years, and Ustad Samiran was not at all free. Every year he was always teaching one student or the other. Acharya Raghunath did not train any of the students during 2015 to 2018 as well as 2021 to 2024. This is very interesting because what does this say? This says that if you are looking at Acharya Raghunath, he did not teach anyone for 8 out of the 12 years. So the only times he taught was either in 2013 and 2014 or in 2019 and 2020. Now he has to teach 4 students. So what does this mean? This means that in 2013 and 2014 he taught 2 students and they were group highs, and in 2019 and 2020 he taught 2 more students. So immediately we can figure out that Acharya Raghunath was teaching everybody for 2 years. Therefore, Ustad Samiran has to teach everybody for 3 years. 2 years is not possible. And this would also tell us that the only teacher remaining, which will be, I think, Meghnath, right? Yeah, Pandit Meghnath. So Meghnath would be teaching everybody for 4 years. Ustad Samiran is for 3 years, Raghunath is for 2 years, and Meghnath is for 4 years. Ananya and Devendra were never Guru Bhai. So in our 6 possibilities, A and D, these two were never Guru Bhais. Similarly, Bhaskar and Charu were never Guru Bhais. So even this is never true. All the other pairs were Guru Bhais for exactly 2 years. So A and B were Guru Bhais for 2 years. A and C were Guru Bhais for 2 years. B and D and C and D were Guru Bhais for exactly 2 years. In 2013, Ananya and Bhaskar started their training under Pandit Meghnath and Ustad Samiran. So Ananya started under Meghnath. Meghnath trains for 4 years. So these first 4 years, Ananya trained under Meghnath. Bhaskar trained under Samiran. Samiran trains for 3 years. So this is 3. What about Charu and D? Who is D? Charu and Devendra. One thing we know is that Pandit Raghunath taught 2 students in 2013 and 2014. Those 2 students therefore have to be Charu and Raghunath. This is R and this is R. And Pandit Raghunath taught the other 2 students in 2019 and 2020. They have to be A and B. So this is R and R. This is R and R. So we identified everything about Pandit Raghunath. This is completely done. Now if you are looking at it, we also identified some Guru Bhais. We identified Guru Bhais CD. This is taken care of. They were Guru Bhais in 2013 and 2014. We also identified when A and B were Guru Bhais. They were Guru Bhais in 2019 and 2020. Now we identified Acharya Raghunath. If you have to make A and C Guru Bhais, A and C cannot be Guru Bhais under Ustad Samiran because Ustad Samiran never taught anybody, any 2 students at the same time. They cannot be Guru Bhais under Acharya Raghunath because we filled out when Acharya Raghunath taught all the 4 students. So A and C have to be Guru Bhais under Meghnath. C and D we have identified, but B and D also have to be Guru Bhais under Meghnath. If A and C have to be Guru Bhais under Meghnath, the only possibility is that Pandit Meghnath taught C from 2015 onwards. This is when Pandit Meghnath taught C because we want 2 years to be common. Similarly, if you are looking at A, 2017 and 2018 are the 2 years which are in the middle. That is when he cannot be taught by Ustad Samiran because they are only 2 years. He has to be taught by Ustad Samiran for 3 years consecutively. So this will be gap and this will be gap. What about B for 2016, 2017 and 2018? We have to identify when Pandit Meghnath taught him. But he needs 4 years to teach and here we have only 3 years. So this will be gap. So we identified the gap for B, all the 3 gap years. So the remaining 4 years, he has to be taught by Pandit Meghnath. So this has to be M, M, M and M. So for B, we identified all the teachers and all the gap years. Now if you are looking at Ustad Samiran, remember that Ustad Samiran has to teach 4 students 3 years each with no duplication or with no overlap. So Ustad Samiran will get no gap year, the teacher himself. So in 2013, 14 and 15, he taught B. Who will he teach in 2016? It is not A or B or C. So he'll have to start teaching D. This will be S, S and S. So for D, this will be a gap year. Next, if you are looking at 2019, who should Ustad Samiran teach? It is not A or B. It has to definitely be C. So this will be S, S and S. And for A, this is when Ustad Samiran will teach the last 3 years. So for A, this is a gap year. For C, these 3 have to be gap years. All we need to identify is now the years where D went to Pandit Meghnad. Now, if you're looking at it, D can go from 2019 to 2024. But we have one clue left. Here we have identified when A and C are Guru Bhais. We need to identify when B and D are Guru Bhais. B and D are Guru Bhais for exactly 2 years. And that will only happen if D was taught by Pandit Meghnad from the start. And therefore, the years 2001 and 2021 and 2022 are the common years between B and D. And for D, this will be the gap years. Once we fill this table up, let us go ahead and answer the questions that follow. In which of the following years were Ananya and Bhaskar Guru Bhai? We want A and B to be Guru Bhais. That happens in 2019 and 2020, both the years. But in the options, only 2020 is given, so this will be the correct answer. In which year did Charu begin her training under Pandit Meghnad? She started her training under Pandit Meghnad in 2015, so that will be option B. In which of the following years were Bhaskar and Devendra Guru Bhais? B and D were Guru Bhais in these 2 years, which is 2021 and 2022. So that will be option A. Which of the following statements is true? Charu was training under Ustad Samiran in 2018. In 2018, she was training under Pandit Meghnad, so this is false. Ananya was training under Ustad Samiran in 2015. In 2015, Ananya was training under Pandit Meghnad. This also is false. Ananya was training under Ustad Samiran in 2018. Ananya was having a gap year in 2018, so this also is false. Charu was training under Ustad Samiran in 2019. This is true. Charu started training under Ustad Samiran in 2019. So this is the correct answer. In how many of the years between 2013 and 2014 were only 2 of the 4 musicians training under these 3 gurus? If 2 of them were training, what were the other 2 doing? The other 2 were having gap years. So we need to identify years from 2013 to 2024 in which 2 of the musicians were having gap years. So that is not 2013 or 2014 or 2015 or 2016, because it is definitely 2017. A and B were having gap years. It is 2018. A and B were having gap years. Again, you have to identify 2 students having gap years, and that is also 2023 and 2024. So the total number of years will be 4. That will be the answer. One of the things that I want to tell you is in these last few days in the run up to CAT, solving a lot of questions will be very, very useful to you. So we have created a lot of PDFs which include useful questions. You can download those PDF. You have to just Google search Cracku Quant topic wise questions and you will get the PDFs and try to solve them on your own. Once you solve the question or once you struggle to solve the question, the link for the video solution is given in the PDF itself. These PDFs have been downloaded thousands of times in the last few weeks. I'm sure they'll be very useful to you. Download these PDFs and try to solve them. Again, just you have to Google search Cracku Quant topic wise questions to get the PDFs. In this question, we are told that there are 4 authors, Arman, Brajen, Chintan and Devan. Let us assume that they are A, B, C, D. Now, they write some papers. Now, the papers are of 4 types. Either one person can write it. It is called a single paper, single author paper. Or 2 others can write together. Then it will be a 2 author. Or 3 others can write together. Or 4 others can write together. We are given the number of papers written by each of the authors. For example, we are told that A wrote 5 papers. B wrote 8 papers. C wrote 12 papers and D wrote 10 papers. Similarly, we are also given some information about the number of single author papers, number of double author papers, number of triple author papers and number of 4 author papers. We are told that, for example, single author papers, let me write it as Roman numeral 1, is 10. That is, there are 10 single author papers. Number of 2 author papers is 4. Number of 3 author papers is 3. And number of 4 other papers is 2. The first thing I would want to do is, because we are told that there are 4 other papers, all the 4 others have to be part of it. So if you are calculating or if you are trying to figure out the 4 other papers, it is very easy. There will be 2 of them and all of them will be part of it. So we'll write A, B, C, D and A, B, C, D. That is, the first one is a paper written by all the 4 others. The second one is also a paper written by all the 4 others. So we have accounted for this part. Next, if you are looking at 3 other papers, there have to be three other papers. So let us write it like this. There have to be three other papers. This is the first paper. We'll write 3 blanks. We don't know who it is. It can be ABC or ACD or BCD. There are multiple possibilities. Similarly, this is the second paper, again written by 3 others. This is the third paper written by 3 others. We don't know it. So to fill this, we'll have to get some additional information. But before we go there, because we are able to account for 2 papers of A, we'll write 3 over here. That is, out of the 5 papers, we have accounted for 2, we have to account for 3 more. We have accounted for 2 papers of B, so we have to account for 6 more. We have accounted for 2 papers of C, so we have to account for 10 more. We have accounted for 2 papers of D, so we have to account for 8 more. Now, if you are looking at the clues, each of the others wrote at least one of each of the 4 types of papers. So, especially if you are looking at A, we have to account for 3 papers written by A. Now, we know that he has written 2 4 other papers. So, the remaining 3 have to be 1 single author paper, 1 2 author paper and 1 3 author paper. So, if you are writing it like this, there are 4 2 author papers. Let us write 1 2. And there are 10 single author papers. For the 10 single author papers, because it is just 1 blanks, we'll just write it like that. What we are essentially saying is that there are 3 papers of A we have to account for. So he has to write exactly 1 3 author paper, he has to write exactly 1 2 author paper, and he has to write exactly 1 single author paper. Now we have accounted for all the papers written by A, but we have to account for B, C and D. So let us look at the other clues. The 4 others wrote different numbers of single author papers. The total number of single author papers is 10. This we have. So this would imply that the single author papers is 10 has to be 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, where the 1 paper is written by A, 2, 3, 4 are written by B, C and D in some order. Both Chintan and Devon had more 3 other papers than Brajen. If you are looking at the 3 other papers, only one of them is written by A. So out of A, B, C, D, we know for sure that A wrote only 1 3 other papers. So the remaining papers over here, especially the remaining 2 papers, they have to be written by B, C and D. So this has to be written by B, C, D. This also has to be written by B, C, D. And we are told that C and D have written more 3 other papers than B. This would imply that this has to be C and this has to be D. This is the only possibility. Now if you are looking for the number of papers that we have accounted for A we have accounted for all of them. There is only 0 left. For B we have accounted for 4, so we need to account for 4 more. For C we have accounted for 5, so we need to account for 7 more. For D we have accounted for 5, so we need to account for 5 more. And we have figured out the 4 other papers and the 3 other papers. We need to only focus on the 2 other papers. There are 4 of them, and single other papers, there are 10 of them. The number of single author and 2 other papers written by Brajesh were the same. The total number of papers of Brajesh that we have to account for is just 4. This would imply that Brajesh wrote 2 single author papers and 2 other papers. So this 2 single author papers were written by Brajesh. So 3 and 4 single author papers are written by C and D in some order. Over here also, if you think about it, there are 4 2 other papers. That is, if you are looking at the number of blanks, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Out of this 8, we were able to account for 1A and 2B. So we were able to account for 3 blanks. There are 5 blanks over here that have to be accounted for. Similarly, in single author papers, out of the 10 papers, we were able to account for only 3 papers. So 7 blanks have to be accounted for, and those 7 blanks have to be basically 3 plus 4. That is either 3 C's or 4 D's. This will tell us that there are basically 2 possibilities. For the C and D, the single author papers, remember that the total number of blanks of C that we have to account for is 7 and that of D is 5. So if the single author papers of C is say 4 and for D it is say 3, the two other papers for C will be 7 minus 4 which is 3 and 5 minus 3 which is 2. This is one possibility where we are saying that the single author papers we have to account for this 3 plus 4. We are saying that 4 are by C and 3 are by D. This would imply that in that case, in the two other papers, there will be 3C and 2D. This is one case. There is also another case possible which is exactly similar to this. This is C and D. But say the single author papers of C are 3 and of D are 4. Then the two other papers of C will be 4 because the total unaccounted for of C is 7 and that of D is 5 and of D will be 1. So this also is a possibility. What we are essentially saying is that this single author papers of 3 and 4 have to be divided in C and D in some order. If the 3 is by C, it will look something like this. If the 3 is by D, it will look something like this. These are the two cases that are possible. There is nothing else to discuss here. Let us go ahead and answer the questions that follow. What was the total number of 2 author and 3 author papers by Brajan? Brajan wrote 2 author papers and he wrote 2 3 author papers. So the total will be 4. Which of the following statements is necessarily true? Chintan wrote exactly 3 2 author papers. If you are looking at our cases, the cases are here. Chintan wrote exactly 3 2 author papers. Chintan can write 3 2 author papers or Chintan can write 4 2 author papers. Both of them are possible. So this is not true. Chintan wrote more single author papers than Devon. If you are looking at the single author papers, in this case, Chintan wrote 4 and Devon wrote 3. In this case, Chintan wrote 3 and Devon wrote 4. So both the cases are possible. Either Chintan or Devon can write more papers. So this also is not true. So the correct answer for this is neither 1 nor 2 can we really say is definitely true. Which of the following statements is or are necessarily true? Arman wrote 3 other papers only with Chintan and Devon. If you are looking at the 3 other papers, I think it is over here. If you are looking at the 3 other papers, Arman wrote only 1 and that is with Chintan and Devon, A, C, D. So this is true. Brajan wrote 3 other papers only with Chintan and Devon. That also is true. Yes, it is true that Brajan wrote 3 other papers, but both of them are with Chintan and Devon. So this also is true. So the correct answer is both 1 and 2. If Devon wrote more than 2 other paper, okay. So we are looking at these cases. So Devon wrote more than 2 other papers. So this is not the case we are talking about because in this case Devon wrote only 2 other paper. We are talking about this case. Then how many 2 other papers did Chintan write? In this case, the number of 2 other papers that Chintan wrote will be 3. So the answer for this particular question is 3.
The best way to start your CAT prep is with a high quality mock, and the best price for that is free. At Cracku, you get 3 CAT mocks absolutely free. And this isn't just a trial. It's a full-length mocks crafted by 5-time 100 percentiler Maruti Sir himself to give you real exam experience. You get a detailed analysis of your performance and a video solution for every question. Ready to test yourself? Go to Google and just search Cracku CAT mock test.
In this question, we are told that there are 6 spherical balls. The names of the balls are B1, B2, B3, B4, B5 and B6. And there are 4 circular hoops. The names of the hoops are H1, H2, H3 and H4. That is, each ball was tested with each hoop once by attempting to pass the ball through the hoop. If the diameter of the ball is not larger than the diameter of the hoop, the ball passes through the hoop and makes a ping. So what does this mean? It means that if there is a ping then ball is lesser than hoop. That is, the diameter of the ball is lesser than that of the hoop. Any ball having a diameter larger than that of the hoop gets stuck on the hoop and does not make a ping. So whenever there is a ping, we know that the ball is less than or equal to the diameter of the ball, that of the hoop. What we are told is four things. We are told that B1 and B6 each made a ping on H4, but B5 did not. So if we are comparing H4, let us put smaller balls here. Here we will write the hoop. There is H4. The two balls that made a ping are B1 and B6. So B1 is smaller than H4, B6 is smaller than H4, and one ball that we know is larger is B5. So if you're trying to figure out a size, something like this, B5 will be here. It is greater than H4, which is greater than B1 and B6. Amongst B1 and B6, we don't know which is larger, which is smaller, but we know that B1 and B6, both of them are smaller than H4. B4 made a ping on H3, but B1 did not. So if you are comparing H3, this is H3. What we know is that B4 made a ping. So B4 is smaller than H3, but B1 did not. So if you're looking at only B1, B1 made a ping on H4. So it is smaller than H4, but B1 did not make a ping on H3. So B1 is greater than H3, but less than H4. So if you forget about B6 for a moment, we can immediately say that B1 is greater than H3, which is greater than B4. Now what about B6? What we know for sure is that B6 will lie somewhere over here. What we know for sure is that B6 is less than H4. But with respect to H3, we don't know anything about B6. With respect to B1, we don't know anything about B6. With respect to B4 also, we don't know anything about B6. All balls except B3 made pings on H1. So now we know that we have H1 and B3 did not make a ping. So B3 is greater than H1, but all the other balls made a ping. So B1 is lesser, B2 is lesser, B4 is lesser, B5 is lesser, and B6 is lesser. So immediately we know that amongst the balls at least, B3 has to be the highest. So B3 will be over here, which is greater than, this is H1, this is greater than B5 and all. We know B1. What about B2? With respect to B2, we don't know anything. We just know that B2 is lesser than H1 because it made a ping on H1. But with respect to B5, B1, B4, B6, H4, H3, none of that we know anything about B2. So roughly this is the picture we know. Let us look at the last one. None of the balls except B2 made a ping on H2. So we have H2 over here. Only one ball made a ping, which is B2. This would imply that B2 is smaller than H2 and all the other balls are bigger than H2, which are B1, B3, B4, B5 and B6. So this would imply that if you are just writing this order again, let us write it here, the order. B3 is definitely the greatest. This is greater than H1. This is greater than B5. This is greater than, I'm just writing this order. This is greater than H4. This is greater than B1, which is greater than H3, which is greater than B4. Now we know that B4 did not make a hoop on H2, so B4 will be greater than H2, and B2 made a hoop on H2, so H2 is greater than B2. If you're looking at the hoops, we know H1, we know H2, H3 and H4. So we know the ordering of all the hoops. With respect to the balls, we know that we have B1, we have B2, we have B3, which is the largest, we have B4 and we have B5. The only ball we don't know the exact position is B6. But what do we know about B6? What we know about B6 is that B6 made a ping on H4. So B6 will be definitely smaller than H4. B6 will be this side. and B6 did not make a ping on H2. This also is known. So B6 would be over here. In the middle over here somewhere will be B6. It is either greater than or less than B1. It is either greater than or less than H3. It is either greater than or less than B4. But one thing we know for sure about B6 is that it is less than H4 and it is definitely greater than H2. This is what we know. Let us go ahead and answer the questions that follow. What is the total number of pings made by B1, B2 and B3? What is the number of pings made by B1? We are looking at B1. B1 made a ping on H4 and H1. B1 did not make a ping on H3 or H2. So B1 made 2 pings. What about B2? B2 is smaller than H2. So B2 made a ping on H2, H3, H4 and H1. So B2 made 4 pings. What about B3? B3 is greater than all the hoops. It is greater than H1, H2, H3 and H4. So it made 0 pings. So the total number of pings made by all of them together will be 6. Which of the following statements about the relative sizes of the balls is not necessarily true? B4 less than B5 is less than B3. This is true. This is B4 over here. This is B5 and this is B3. So this is definitely true. What about option B? B2 is less than B1 is less than B5. B2 is the smallest, is less than B1, is less than B5. This also is definitely true. What about B1 less than B6 less than B3? B1 is definitely less than B3, but the position of B6 is not known. So this can't be certain. Why is that the case? Because we know that B1 is less than B3. We also know that B6 is less than B3. But we don't know whether B1 is less than B6 or greater than B6 because the relative position of B6 and B1 is not certain. Just for the sake of completeness, we can look at option D also. B1 less than B5 less than B3 is definitely true. This is B5, B3 and B1. So this is definitely true. So the only statement we can't be certain is option C. Which of the following statements about the relative sizes of the hoops is true? For the hoops, we know that the largest is H1, second is H4, third is H3, fourth is H2. So it should be H1, H4, H3, H2, which is option A. What best can be said about the total number of pings from all the tests taken together? Okay, we have the number of pings made by B1, B2 and B3. What about B4, B5 and B6? What is the number of pings made by B4? B4 is here. It would make 3 pings. It would make pings on H1, H4 and H3. It would not make a ping on H2. What about B5? B5 is over here. It would make a ping only on H1. It would not make a ping on H4, H3 or H2. So B5 would make 1 ping. What about B6? B6 we know for sure will make a ping on H1 and H4. B6 we know for certain will not make a ping on H2. But with respect to H3 we don't know. If B6 is over here, it will not make a ping. If B6 is over here, it will make a ping. So the number of pings made by B6 will be either 2 or 3. So the total of all of them will be either 2 plus 4 plus 3 plus 1 plus 2, which is 12, or 2 plus 4 plus 3 plus 1 plus 3, which is 13. So the total number of pings will be either 12 or 13, which is option A.
Stop wondering which ions will call you. Get the most accurate answer. Cracku's ion call predictor analyzes everything, your academics, your work experience weightage and even the JAB process, all based on the latest RTI data. Know the exact cutoffs and your precise chance in seconds. Ready for clarity? Just Google search Cracku ion call predictor. Your personalized IM report just this search away.
In this question, we are told that there is something called the sustainability index of a country at a point in time which is an integer between 1 and 100. Now, the question is related to 6 countries. The countries are A, B, C, D, E and F. And we are given the percentage change in their sustainability index from 2016, 2020 and 2024. The X coordinate represents the increase from 2016 to 2020 and the Y coordinate represents the increase from 2024 to 2020. The country with the highest sustainability index is ranked 1 and the lowest is 6 and so on. Now, we are given some more information about each one of them, and we are given a graph which will help us in understanding it, and we are required to calculate the sustainability index of these countries. So let us first draw a table. Let us have a table like this. Now what we know is that sustainability index, the x coordinate is sustainability index in 2020 divided by sustainability index in 2016 minus 1, or basically sustainability index in 2020 will be equal to sustainability index in 2016 into 1 plus the x coordinate. In the same way, the sustainability index in 2024 will be sustainability index in 2020 into 1 plus y coordinate. This is basically the information that is given. Let us draw a table. The table will have 2016, 2020 and 2024, and we'll have the countries also. What are the names of the countries? The names of the countries are A, we will have B, C, D, E and F. This is known. Now let us go through the graph so that we can get some understanding of the coordinates. For example, if I'm looking at the coordinates of A, it is over here. So what is A? The coordinates of A are the x coordinate is 25 and the y coordinate is 50%. So for example, if you assume that the value of the sustainability index of A in 2016 is small a, that of B is small b, that of C is small c, that of D is small d, that of E is small e, and that of F is small f, what we know is that sustainability index of A in 2020 will be, we know that in 2020 it will be the sustainability index in 2016 into 1 plus x coordinate, which will be 1.25 into A, which is basically equal to 5 by 4A. And the sustainability index of A in 2024 is sustainability index in 2020, which is 5 by 4A into 1 plus y coordinate. That is what we figured out. So what is 1 plus y coordinate? 1 plus 50%, which is 3 by 2. This is equal to 15 by 8A. So the sustainability index of A in 2020 will be 5 by 4A, and in 2024 is 15 by 8A. We can do the same for even B. If you are looking at B, where is B? B is somewhere over here. The coordinates of B are, the x coordinate is minus 25%. And the y coordinate is also minus 25%. Therefore, the sustainability index of B in 2020 will be sustainability index of B in 2016 into 1 plus x coordinate, which is 1 minus 25%, which is 3 by 4. So sustainability index of B in 2020 is 3 by 4B. What about sustainability index of B in 2024? It is sustainability index of B in 2020, which is 3 by 4B into 1 plus y coordinate, which is again minus 25%. So this is again into 3 by 4. So this is equal to 9 by 16 into B. We have to do it for all the remaining 4 also. For example, if you are looking at C, where is the point C? This is the point C. This is minus 20% on the x coordinate and 40% on the y coordinate. So if you are looking at C, C is minus 20% and 40%. So the sustainability index of C in 2020 will be sustainability index of C in 2016, which is C, into 1 plus x coordinate, which is minus 20%. So this is into 0.8 which is equal to 4 by 5C. And sustainability index of C in 2024 is sustainability index of C in 2020, which is 4 by 5C, into 1 plus y coordinate, which is 40%. So this is 1.4. If you simplify it, this is 28 by 25C. So this is 28 by 25C, and this is 4 by 5C. Similarly, if you are looking at D, what is the coordinates of D? D is over here. This is 100% x coordinate and 20% y coordinate. So D is equal to 100% x coordinate and 20% y coordinate. So what is the sustainability index of C in 2020? That is sustainability index of D in 2016 into 1 plus x coordinate, which is 100%. So this is 2. And sustainability index of D in 2024 is equal to sustainability index of D in 2020 into 1 plus y coordinate, which is 20%. So this is 1.2, which is 2.4D. 2.4D is 12D by 5. So for D, this is 2D and this is 12D by 5. Similarly, if you are looking at E is over here. The x coordinate is 25%, y coordinate is 20%. So for E, the x coordinate is 25% and y coordinate is 20%. So the sustainability index of E in 2020 will be sustainability index of E in 2016 into 1.25, which is equal to 5 by 4E. And sustainability index of E in 2024 is equal to sustainability index of E in 2020, which is 5 by 4E, into 1 plus y coordinate, which is 1.2. This will simplify to equal 3 by 2E. So this is 5 by 4E and this is 3 by 2E. What about the sustainability index of F? The sustainability index of F in the graph is over here. X coordinate is 100%, y coordinate is minus 25%. So this is 100% and minus 25%. So sustainability index of E in 2020 is sustainability index of E in 2016 into 1 plus x coordinate, which is 100%. So this is 2F. And sustainability index of F in 2024 is sustainability index of F in 2020, which is 2F, into 1 plus y coordinate, which is minus 25%. So this is into 3 by 4, which is equal to 3F by 2. So this will be 2F and this is 3F by 2. Now this is the table we have. Let us look at some of the clues that are given. If you are looking at the clues that are given, the ranks of the countries are given in 2016. B, C, E, A. B has rank 1, this is 2016. C has rank 2. E has rank 3. A has rank 4. Similarly, we are told that F had a lower SI, that is sustainability index, than any country in 2016, 2020 and 2024. So F has a sustainability index of 6 in 2016. It also has a sustainability index of 6 in 2020 and a sustainability index of 6 in 2024. So the sustainability index of D in 2016 will be 5. In 2024, E was the only country with a sustainability index of 90. So here we have some direct information. E, we are told this is equal to 90. If this is equal to 90, the value of 3E by 2 is equal to 90. So the value of E will be equal to 60. So this is 90. This is 60. And that is 5 by 4E, which is 5 by 4 into 60. This is 75. The range of the sustainability index of the 6 countries is 60 in 2016 as well as 2024. So basically what we are told is, in 2016, water is the country which was 1 minus the country which was 6, the difference is 60. Similarly, even in 2024, whichever country was 1 minus whichever country was 6, the range is equal to 60. That is, the highest minus the lowest is equal to 60. In 2016 and in 2024, the country with the lowest, that is 6, is in both the cases country F. In 2016, the country with the highest sustainability index was B. But we don't know which country it was in 2024. These are all the things that you should just keep in mind. Now, again, if you're looking at the numbers and if you're looking at the fractions, one thing that we should know is that if you're looking at C, for example, C has 28 by 25C as the sustainability index in 2024. What does this imply? It implies that C is a multiple of 25. And C has higher sustainability index than E. The sustainability index of E in 2016 is 60. C got rank 2. So C has to be greater than 60. Because E got a sustainability index of 60 and it was rank 3 in 2016. The only possibility is that C has to be equal to 75. Otherwise, 28 by 25C will not be an integer. So this is 75. This is 4 by 5 into 75, which is 60. And this is 28 by 25 into 60, which is 84. Can we say anything about B? What we know is that B is definitely greater than 75. How do you know that B is definitely greater than 75? Because the rank of B is 75. Because the rank of B in 2016 is 1. The rank of C in 2016 is 2. C got 75, so B has to get more than 75. Similarly, the sustainability index of C in 2024 is 9 by 16B. So B is a multiple of 16 and B is greater than 75. Now there are two possibilities for B. B can be either 80 or B can be 96. So we will assume that B is 80 in the first case in 2016. Then we will calculate how much it will be in 2020 and we will calculate how much it will be in 2024. This is one case. The other case is, we can write it maybe down. B is 96 in 2016. We will calculate how much it is in 2020 and we will calculate how much it is in 2024. These are the two cases for B. If B is 2018, 2016, this is 3 by 4 and 9 by 16. What is 3 by 4 into 80? 3 by 4 into 80 is 60. What is 3 by 4 into 60? It is 45. This is the value of B. What is the value of B if it was 96 in 2016? It will be 3 by 4 into 96, which is equal to 72. And in 2024, it will be 3 by 4 into 72, which is 54. Now, what is the value of F? What we know is that the difference between B and F in 2016 has to be equal to 60. Because B got the highest in 2016, F got the lowest in 2016, the range is 60. So if B is 80, F will be equal to 20. And what are the values of F in 2020 and 2024? It is 2F and 3F by 2. If it is 2F, this will be 40 and this will be 30. In the second case, if B is 96, F will be 60 lesser, which is 36. And F in 2020 will be 2F. So this will be 72. And this will be 3 by 2F, which is 54. Now this is not possible because both in 2020 as well as in 2024, F was less than everybody else. It can't have the same value over here and over here. That is not possible. So this case is not possible. So it would imply that only this case exists. So B is 80. This is 3 by 4B, which is 60. This is 9 by 16B, which is equal to 45. Similarly, F will be 60 less than B, which is 20. This will be 40. And this will be 30. Now, similarly, we can try to calculate A and D, but there will be multiple cases involved and it is actually not needed. Why is it not needed? Because if you're looking at the questions that are given, it is always a good thing to look at the questions that are given. We are asked to calculate E, we are asked to calculate F, we are asked to calculate C, and we are asked to calculate B. There is no question about either A or D. If there are any question about A or D, we will try to figure out what are the ranges that A will have, what are the ranges that E will have. For example, for A, we can also say that A is a multiple of 8 because we have 15 by 8 over here. Similarly, we have for D, we can say that D is a multiple of 5. And then we can try to find out what are the values that A can take, what are the values that D can take. That can be done, but it is just a waste of time because that is not asked in the question. So let us try to answer the questions that are given. What is the value of sustainability index of E in 2016? For E in 2016, it is equal to 60. What is the sustainability index of F in 2020? The sustainability index of F in 2020 is 40. What is the sustainability index of C in 2024? That is 84. And what is the sustainability index of B in 2024? B in 2024 is 45, which is option D.
To crack CAT with confidence, you need a lot of practice and a lot of testing. And the questions that matter the most are the questions that have come in CAT previous year's paper. Each of these CAT previous year's paper you can attempt on Cracku. You can download it as a PDF or you can actually take it in the mock format. Not only that, but each of these questions has a detailed written solution as well as a video solution. You can take these in the mock format and later you can analyze your strengths and weaknesses. You can pinpoint the areas you need to improve in. So see how real CAT questions are asked. Learn from the detailed solutions. So build speed, accuracy and confidence. So visit Cracku today and start solving our previous year's CAT papers.
In this question, we are told that there are 3 states. The names of the states are given: Wimshire, Fogalia and Humboldt. Let us call them W, F and H. Each of them have 2 cities and a non-urban region. That is, there are 3 regions in each of the 3 states. Overall, there are 9 regions. And each of them has a pollution measure. The pollution measure is a multiple of 10. It is a distinct multiple of 10 and they are ranging from 10 to 90. So the 9 values will be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 and 90. And the names of the cities are given. They are Blusterberg, Noodleton, Splutterville, Quackford, Mump and Zingalio. We can call them with the starting letter. Some information is given. The pollution index of a state is the weighted average of the pollution measures of the NURs and the cities, with a weighted average of 50% for the NUR and 25% for each of its cities. So if you're looking at the 3 cities are W, F and H. These are the 3 states. Each state has 2 cities. This is city 1, this is city 2 and this is the NUR. And for each state, we also have the pollution index. This pollution index is got by the values of C1, C2 and NUR. Let us assume that the city 1 pollution measure is A, city 2 pollution measure is B and the non-urban region pollution measure is C. Then the pollution index will be A into 25% plus B into 25% plus C into 50%. This will come to equal A by 4 plus B by 4 plus C by 2. This is basically the pollution index. Or we want this to be A plus B by 4 plus C by 2. Now immediately you will feel that a plus b has to be a multiple of 4. Otherwise, you are going to get some fractions. Now we are told that the pollution index for each of them is a distinct number that is given. The pollution index for all the 3 states are distinct integers. And Humble set has the highest and Fogolia has the lowest. So the pollution index of Humble set, this is the highest, and of Fogolia, this one is the lowest. We are also told that there is only one pair of NUR and a city, considering all the cities where the PM of the NUR is greater than that of the city. The NUR and the city, both of them belong to Humble set. So if you are looking at it, there is only one instance where the pollution measure of an NUR is greater than that of a city. Only one instance. Immediately you will feel that 10 has to definitely belong to an NUR. The pollution measure of 10 has to definitely be an NUR, because if 10 was a city, then all the 3 NURs, the non-urban regions, will be greater than 10, and there will be at least 3 instances where the pollution measure of an NUR is greater than that of a city. That is not allowed. Similarly, 20 also has to be an NUR, because if 20 is a city, it would imply that over here there will be 2 instances where the NUR is greater than the city. If 20 was a city, NUR 1 and NUR 2, they will be greater than 20. They will be say 30 and 40 or 30 and 50. There will be something which is greater than 20. So at least there will be 2 instances where the NUR is greater than that of a city as far as pollution measure is concerned. That is not allowed. 30 cannot be a NUR, because if 30 also is a NUR, it would mean that all the 3 non-urban regions have lesser pollution measure than all the cities, and there will be no instance where the NUR is greater than that of a city. So 30 has to be a city, 40 will be an NUR. This is the only instance where the NUR is greater than that of a city. From 50 onwards, 50, 60, 70, 80 and 90, all of them have to be cities. And the names of the cities are also given in ascending order, the 6 cities in increasing of the PM. So we can immediately assume that Blusterberg, which is 30, definitely has to be the lowest, because that is the lowest city. But anyway, we are told that these 2 are in Humble set. So we can immediately feel that, okay, we are clearing all of this. If you are looking at Humble set, for example, let me draw that again so that it is clearer. This is Humble set. This is city 1. This is city 2. This is NUR. And this is the pollution index. Humble set has a city with pollution measure of 30. Humble set has an NUR with pollution measure of 40. This we are able to understand. But what about the rest? If you're looking at the remaining values of the cities, we know that this NUR will be either 10 or 20. This NUR also is either 10 or 20. But if you're looking at the remaining cities, there are 5 cities we have to identify. The city's pollution measures are 50, 60, 70, 80 and 90. We have to adjust this in the 5 blanks. Now the one thing that you need to remember is what we discussed earlier. The pollution measures of the 2 cities combined, that is A plus B, this has to be a multiple of 4. If it is not a multiple of 4, the pollution index will not be an integer. For example, if you are looking at 50 and 60, if say one city has 50 as the pollution measure and the other one has 60, the sum of both of them is 110. 110 divided by 4 is not an integer. So the 2 cities, the pollution measures in the same state has to be a multiple of 4. Especially if you are looking at 60. The only time when you are going to get a multiple of 4 is when you add 60 to 80. So 60 and 80 have to belong to the same state. For example, if you are making 60 to 50, if you are adding these 2, it won't be a multiple of 4. If you are adding 60 to 70, it won't be a multiple of 4. This is 130. If you are adding 60 to 90, also you are not going to get a multiple of 4. The only time you are going to get a multiple of 4 is when you are adding 60 and 80. So basically what we are saying is one of the states, we don't know whether it is Fogolia or whether it is Vimshire. Let us assume that this is one state and this is another state. One of them will have 60 and 80 together. That much we can ensure. Now, what is the pollution index of that particular state which has 60 and 80 together? From 60 and 80 together, the pollution measure will be 60 plus 80 divided by 4 plus whatever is the pollution measure of the NUR, that will be either 10 or 20 divided by 2. So this is 60 plus 80 by 4 is, this is 35 plus either 5 or 10. So the pollution index of this particular state is either 40 or 45. One of the two is definitely the case. Now what about the remaining? There are three numbers that are remaining. They are 50, 70 and 90. If you are looking at Humble set, we know the pollution measure of one of the cities, it is 30. So the second one can be either 50. Let us put that this is say 50. It is either 50 or 70 or 90. If it is 50, this will be 30, 50 and 40. What is the pollution index of Humble set? If say we are selecting this 50, 30 plus 50 is 80, divided by 4 is 20, plus 40 divided by 2 is 20. And in that particular case, the pollution measure of Humble set will be 40. But what we are told is that the pollution index of Humble set is the highest. If it is 40, it is not the highest, because this second state, this state 2, which contains 60 and 80, will have a pollution index of either 40 or 45. This would imply that 50 cannot come over here. 50 has to definitely come in the third state. This is either 70 or 90. One of these two has to be the pollution measure of the second city of Humble set. Let us put it as 70 and then we will see. If say this is 70, what is the pollution index of Humble set? This is 30, 70 and 40. This pollution index will be 30 plus 70 is 100, divided by 4 is 25, plus 40 divided by 2 is 20, which is 45. This seems possible. So we can make this as 70, then you are going to get the pollution index as 45. But you want Humble set to be the highest. This would imply that for S2, the second state, this cannot be 20, it has to be only 10. In this case, the pollution index of the second state will be 40. This seems fine. Therefore, the NUR of the third state will be 20, and the only number missing will be 90. And in that particular case, what is the pollution index of the third city? It will be 50 plus 90 by 4, which is 35, plus 20 by 2, which is 10. This will be 45. But again, this is a contradiction, because you are getting 45 two times. That also is not allowed. You want Humble set to be the highest. This would imply that the only value possible over here is 90. And if it is 90, this can be either 10 or 20. This also is either 10 or 20. If the pollution measure of the second city is 90, what is the pollution index of Humble city? That will be 30, 90 and 40. This will come to 120 by 4 is 30 plus 20 is 50. This is 50. And this other city will be 70. So now you are left with two cases. Either state 1 has 50, 70 and 10, and the second state has 60, 80 and 20. This is one case that is possible. Or the other case is the first state has 50, 70 and 20, and the second state has 60, 80 and 10. These are the two cases that are possible. In this case, what is the pollution index? It is 50 plus 70 divided by 4, which is 30, plus 5, this is 35. And what is the pollution index of this city? It is 60 plus 80 divided by 4, that is 35, plus 10, which is 45. This seems fine, there is no contradiction. In the second case, if it is 50, 70 and 20, what is the pollution index? It is 50 plus 70 divided by 4, that is 30, plus 10, so this is 40. And over here it is 60 plus 80 divided by 4, that is 35, plus 5, which is 40. This is the same, so that is a contradiction. So the only possibility is that this is 50, 70 and 10, and this will come to 35, or 60, 80 and 20. This will be 45. Now what we are told is that the city with the lowest one is Fogolia. So this has to be Fogolia, and this has to be Vimshir. We are also told the names of the cities. Let us go up. The names of the cities are given. Let me put it this way here. Lusterberg is in Humbleset because this is 30. Noodle Town is 50. This is in Fogolia. This is F. Flutterville is 60. This is in Vimshire. Quackford is 70. This is in Fogolia. Mumfair is 80. This is in Vimshire. And Zingalo is 90, which is in Humbleset. With this done, let us go ahead and answer the questions that follow. What is the pollution index of Vimshire? The pollution index of Vimshire is 45. So this is 45. What is the pollution index of Fogolia? The pollution index of Fogolia is 35. What is the pollution index of Humbleset? The pollution index of Humbleset is 50. Which pair of cities definitely belong to the same state? The two cities which belong to the same state are Lusterberg and Zingalo. So it is not Mumfair and Zingalo. Fluttersville belongs to Vimshire. Quackford belongs to Fogolia, so it is not this also. Lusterberg and Mumphy is also not correct because Lusterberg belongs to Humbleset. Mumphy belongs to Vimshire. Noodletown and Crackford, both of them belong to Fogolia, so this is the correct answer, which is option D. For how many cities and NURs is it possible to identify their PM and the state that they belong to? I think we are able to identify it for all the 9 regions because we got the table completely filled up over here. So it is possible to identify the pollution measure for all the 9 regions.
DILR feels unpredictable. It's not luck, it's a smart set selection. Many fear DILR, but how does CAT actually frames the paper? There are definitely solvable sets when you learn to navigate and pick sets from your comfort zone. And for set selection strategy, PYQs are your best resource. We team Cracku have compiled CAT DILR questions all at one place. Just Google CAT DILR questions to practice, analyze, watch video solution and download PDFs.